Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you a brand new episode of What If Naruto. Universe had Quirks, remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual, share this with your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out What If Naruto had all the chakra of Indra, Ashura, and Hagoromo. And also I post a new movie of What If an immortal sage Naruto went to the One Piece universe, so go ahead check out that and enjoy. And remember, if you're new, yes I indeed have 4 channels: Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, and Anime Prince, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy, so go ahead and destroy that red subscribe button. And yeah, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels, links will be down in the description. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now, guys. So the last time we left off, Naruto was left in an awkward situation, as Itachi was able to get Naruto to spill his secrets. As Naruto was shocked, no understanding the drift of Itachi's quirk, he was able to control a person's speech, allowing them to spill what they did not want to. Naruto did not understand it fully, but he knew he was screwed. He had to do something as he slowly created an ice spear behind his back. However, Itachi told him that he was not here to fight. In fact, he was actually here to help him. As he gave Naruto something, a card. It had a location on it. When the whole thing was over, he should meet him at that location. If he seeked to go through with his plan, he was gonna need his help. Naruto was shocked, but yet he could feel it. Itachi did not lie to him. Confused by this. But if Itachi knew that he was against Konoha, against his own father who was a Hokage, why would he help him? It made no sense. However, Naruto was called back as the finals had started up once again. However, his mind was preoccupied with 2 things, one being Itachi and one being the chakra. Somehow Naruto had stolen the tail-based chakra from Gaara, not all but some. But the chakra was linked to Gaara's quirk. Strangely enough, Naruto felt something as he turned towards Menma. The source was coming from Menma. Confused by this, Naruto realized there was a link between the tail beasts and people quirk. What does it mean? He was not sure. His mind did not focus on that too long though, as he heard the next match. The next match was Hinata versus Samui. The problem was Hinata water quirk was a prime example of helping Samui. Plant quirk. Samui's hair was made out of plants that could extend and grow at a whim. They were incredibly durable. When the match started, Hinata was gonna put Samui down, saying that Hinata was a really manipulative person who wanted to keep every one of her dogs under her control. And Kiba was one of her dogs. And Kiba was, well, hounding after this girl, and she didn't like that. She liked to be in control. Thus, she was gonna put Samui down. But Samui told her that she was her worst opponent, and she proved that. The both of them clashed in a furious battle. However, Hinata did not stand a chance. Her quirk was just helping Samui's quirk, as the water seemed to enrage and allow the plants to grow bigger, as Hinata was sliced up pretty badly by the vines. She was defeated. With that said and done, the next match was Menma versus Mikasa. Mikasa wanted to win this, but there were several complications that she could not. First of all, she could not use all the quirks that she had at her disposal. Not to mention, unlike Mito, Menma was prepared for her actions, as he had saw what she had did in her fight against Mito. And Menma was much faster than his sister, and also much stronger as well. The fight dragged on as the both of them got pretty roughed up, but Menma was still pushing ahead, as he was able to knock her down and subdue her. She gave up before anything could go too far, as he simply scoffed. He wanted to put her through more suffering for what she did to his sister. However, she gave up, so she was fine. As she turned to see her mother and father who were in disguise, they both smiled at her, as that made her feel happy despite giving up. She'd come far and shown her worth. The only reason why she did not dominate that match was because, well, she could not reveal too much things about her, well, family. However, she was visited by Naruto clone in the hospital. She was surprised by that. She thought he did not care for her well-being. But that is not why he was here. He wanted to know why she did not end the match. After all, she had the power to dominate Menma from what he seen in the forest. She was strong. Despite Naruto being weak in the forest or quirks, she had a lot of them. And Menma would not be able to react if she just pulled them all out at once. She told him that perhaps she saved Menma for him. She knew how much he wanted to fight him himself. As Naruto did not believe that too much. However, she did not give him another answer. His clone poofed away afterwards. She felt a connection to him. Maybe it was because she felt and saw his life and he felt her emotions. But he did not try to show it. Maybe he was too far gone, maybe he was just too broken, she did not know. But she felt a connection to him, and it was not going away easily. As Naruto returned to where he was as he sat down, Sasuke went down there to face off against Samui. Sasuke's quirk was a big advantage over hers because of the explosion, as he was able to dry her plants out. The water out of them, that is. While that was taking place, Naruto sat down as he cleared his mind and closed his eyes. It wasn't too long before Sasuke won his match as Naruto was called to face off against Kurosaki. The Tishikage gave her the go-ahead to kill Naruto, because that boy would become a big threat in the future. As of this moment, all the Kages knew about Naruto's ability to steal other quirks. It would not be surprising if several other high-class ninjas in the crowd knew, but, well, many people just believed that he could copy quirks, not knowing the full extent of his power. So with that, Kurosaki was given a signal to kill him, so she attacked. However, Naruto told her that she would not win. He told her that she should draw out right now. She was not the person that he wanted to hurt badly. However, he could not control his rage. He would hurt her in a way that would make her forever remember it. She laughed at his attempt at being scary. However, what followed was gruesome, as her arrows were powerful and fast, but Naruto was a beast. He was even stronger than before, as Naruto mutilated her on purpose. By the time he was done, he was covered in blood. Kushina was horrified as she covered her mouth, seeing her son with that look in his eyes, as he looked up towards her and his father. Even Minato was taken aback for a moment there, until Naruto walked away. Everyone was silent at that brutal display. There was a 50-50% chance that Kurosaki would not make it, as she was badly scarred up and destroyed. There was no telling if she would come out of that okay, or if she did, she would never be back to 100%. He did warn her after all. A break was given, as Naruto name was then called to face off against none other than Menma. Seeing that the second Ronin came through, there was only a limited amount of them now. The winner of this match will be facing Sasuke Uchiha. Kushina did not like that her two boys have to compete against one another. Menma made his intentions clear. He was gonna kill Naruto. He was jealous, yes he was, that Naruto was taking his spot, and he was nothing but a vermin that should die. Thus, he made his intention clear, that he was gonna kill Naruto right there and then. But Naruto told him that he would not end his life though, but he would scar him in a way that will make him forever remember his name. Looking Naruto's eyes as he said that, Menma tried to act all tough, but he was a bit shaken. But he was gonna kill Naruto. His father and mother will forgive him afterwards, he believed, because Naruto was nothing but a quirkless idiot that did not deserve to live in the first place. He was ashamed to their name, and that is why he would end his life. So yeah guys, basically as well as off, you guys can switch across the playcheck of yourself. So this way we jump right into this. Begin now guys. A look of fear was on Kushina's face and worry. Kushina Uzumaki no Mikaze, the wife of the fourth Hokage. She had not been a good mother. In her eyes, it did not seem like she had done anything wrong. It just go out to show how bad she was, given the fact that she was raised in the Uzumaki clan, and with her ability being so powerful and special, she was seen as a rare being amongst her own clan. Thus, she was praised and always told that she was special. So when her two children was born with wonderful quirks of her and her husband, she was happy. But when Naruto did not have any, she did not pay attention to him at all. Yes, she barely even acknowledged his existence. It was like he was not there most of the time. If anything, the siblings told her about Naruto doing something. She would always believe them because those were her precious babies. They were special just like her. In her mind, it was not something bad after all. That is how she was raised. But as a mother, she shouldn't be like that. But yet, she was exactly that way, neglecting her own son for the others, despite she should have been there for all of them, even agreeing with her husband when he said that Naruto was a shame to their family. A problem. The child had overheard all of this when he was 6 years old. Imagine what they would do to a mental psyche of a 6-year-old child. They were bad parents, horrible ones. And when he did develop a quirk, they believed that it could just be reverse, change. Because in her mind, everything was okay. Her son was now special, and he can get good treatment because now he deserves it. Because, what? He did not deserve it before. Well, that was a mentality that has passed through for Naruto's entire life. And now Kushina was worried. After seeing what Naruto just did to that stone Kunoichi. But he wouldn't do that to his brother, right? No, he wouldn't. But yet, in her heart, despite her not focusing much in the past, she knew that they never really get along. She knew that they did not share a bond that most brothers share. And she was fearful for Menma's safety. Naruto was powerful. He was getting stronger day by day. Menma, her baby boy, he was cocky, yes. She knew that. And he might just sometime prove that he was better, just to humiliate another person. Something that might be his undoing, but still, he was powerful as well. But Naruto was just greater. She could not say that to Menma because that would break his spirit. But now she was fearful as she saw the both of them standing there. She glanced up towards the Kage's booth where her husband resided. His face was completely stone. There was no emotion, no flicker in his eyes, nothing at all. He was just so calm, which made her worry. It made her worry tremendously. Down in the arena, the place was quiet. All participants were on the edge of their seats. The two Namikaze boys will be facing one another. Thus, Menma had shown that he's a force to be reckoned with, and Naruto had shown that he's a being that enjoys chaos and blood. Given what he has done so far to his opponents, especially Kurosaki, the girl would never be the same again. Menma and Naruto stood there as they were given the go-ahead, but yet neither of them moved. As Menma was thinking about the possibilities of ending Naruto's life, a quick slash at the throat. He had gotten so much more faster in his teleportation. Soon he will be fast like father, or even beyond. There was no way that Naruto could keep up with him. At the moment though, Naruto was not even looking at him. It seems like he was talking to himself. There was no words leaving his lips. His mouth was making the action, but the words were not coming out. Menma could not hear a single word. Even when he focused chakra to his ears, he did not hear anything. So what was he doing? That is when Naruto looked up as their eyes met. Slash! Menma's throat was split open as a geyser of blood exploded outwards. Menma blinked as he stepped back and tripped, collapsed on his butt. Everyone was confused. Menma gripped at his throat, but there was nothing there. He looked up towards Naruto. What did you just do? He said. Confused, not understanding. As Naruto simply looked at him. Menma could swear that he saw his throat got split a moment ago. As he looked up to see everyone looking down at him. My, how the mighty has fallen, said Naruto. A simple glance. A simple raise of my bloodlust, and yet here you are, on the ground groveling like some piece of worm. And you claim to be an all-powerful being. In fact, that you're gonna go on to be one of the strongest ever walk this planet. But in my eyes, you will always be that pathetic, sniveling, piece of garbage who seek for approval. A piece of garbage that cling to some sort of self-worth when he know that he's nothing but garbage. Menma got up. You think you can scare me? Yes, I do. After all, you're afraid. You're very afraid. I mean, look at your hand. Menma looked down as he saw his hand shaking. He grabbed it with his other hand. He was confused. Why was he afraid? He already made up his mind that he would kill him. No, he wasn't afraid of that. He wasn't afraid of the backlash that he would receive from his parents. Was he afraid of him? No. Menma stomped his foot in the ground angrily. He was a quirkless loser. For his entire life, he still is. Despite having a quirk now, Menma did not see him as such. He was just a worthless piece of garbage that was disrespecting their family name by being nothing, an empty sack of crap. So he should not be afraid of a garbage. Menma pulled out a kunai. I'll kill you, he said. With that, he disappeared as he appeared in front of Naruto, slashing towards Naruto's throat. The kunai seemed to arc, ready to split Naruto's jugular open until Naruto's eyes turned, trailing Menma. Shocked by the speed, Menma couldn't believe it. Naruto reached out and grabbed his wrists and yanked him forward. Menma had already traveled with immense speed, arriving. There was a short second cooldown between his teleportation, but the thing was, Naruto was faster. Half a second, Naruto dragged him forward and slammed his skull into Menma's, making sure to hold the kunai knife away from his throat. Pain exploded in his forehead as Naruto brought his hand up. However, Menma teleported away behind him. Menma reappeared, a frown on his face. Unlike his father, he had limitations because his body was too young to keep up with immense speed. Thus, there was a second that it took him to teleport once again. But it shouldn't be possible. It was a second. There was no way that he was able to react in time. But yet, Menma looked in his palm as he held it out. Blood. Shock. Menma reached up as he touched his forehead to see. It was bleeding. That is when he turned towards Naruto and he saw ice on Naruto's forehead. He had pierced him, drawing for his blood. Would you look at that? Said Naruto as he reached up, touching the ice on his forehead that melted away as a drop of blood fell right into his palm. It seems I was able to wound you, said Naruto. What would you say about that now? After all, the quirkless, worthless loser was able to wound you. Isn't that a disgrace to your own name? I mean, it's pathetic. After all, I'm nothing compared to you, right? You're the great Menma Namikaze, and yet you're wounded by me. It's laughable. Come on, say something. Go ahead, mock me. Just like how you used to do. Make your little games. Sing your little songs. Say how worthless I am. What? Have nothing to say, said Naruto. Or have you finally realized that you're nothing? Our strength is different. Yes, I can attest to that. Because you see, Menma, you're beneath me. You're weak, worthless. And father now cares for me more than he cares for you. Even mother does. You were once a golden child, but now, what are you? A space holder in the house. You have not even shown anything that is spectacularly special today. Today this place will be coursing my name even after the people here went home. After all, I'm special. And what are you? Just a reflection of mother and father. A reflection that is going to be erased. The more Naruto spoke, the more angry Menma got, to the point where he was biting down hard. Foam coming out of the side of his mouth. His eyes were glaring so badly that if looks could kill, Naruto would be dead 10 times over. Kushina had a deep frown on her face as she heard Naruto say those things about Menma. Wondering why he was being so cruel. Yes, they didn't get along, but he didn't have to be so cruel. Mikoto beside her did not say anything as she just watched. remaining calm, up in the Kage's boots. It seems like they have some real, bad blood against each other. Given that they're both brothers, this seems irreversible. Judging from their tones. Rasa said, looking towards Minato at the corner of his eyes. Minato's face was completely stone. There was no telling what he was thinking at the moment. The right Kage himself had a curious glint in his eyes as he looked towards that boy Menma. As of this moment, the right Kage saw Naruto as a threat that should be erased. All of the Kages did, however, Menma was something to be remembered. That boy could be a salvation in his crisis. He was not the only one thinking that. Oniki, despite his calm demeanor, was furious. His granddaughter was put in a critical state. She would live, but badly so. The scars were irreversible. They ran deep. That child had permanently scarred her body. When she wakes up, she will be angry, deeply so. However, the rage in that boy's eyes known as Menma, that rage could be used. Hearing what Naruto said about their father loving him more, neglect is something that is a very powerful tool that could be used to twist an individual. And right now both Kages were thinking about that. There was no telling what was going through the head of Yagura, as he simply remained quiet, watching the whole proceedings. Down below, Menma had enough as he rushed forward. He did not try to teleport, instead he just rushed straight towards Naruto. So with that, Naruto met him in the middle. Menma swung his fist. Naruto ducked. Menma brought his knee up. Being so close to Naruto's face, he was going to make a connection. That was until Naruto tilted his head. As he was coming down, he tilted his head. Menma would not allow that to slide, though he lashed out his hand and wrapped it around Naruto's neck. Upon doing that, his arm was around Naruto's shoulder. He brought it around to apply force, however, Naruto wrapped his arm around Menma's neck as well. The both of them were side to side, their ears almost pressing up against each other as he held each other right there and then. This was actually the first time that they were hugging, since they discovered that Menma had a quirk and Naruto did not. But this was not a hug of friendship or brotherly love. As the both of them were applying pressure, Menma was starting to feel a strain, as Naruto was merely smiling. A smile that was filled with nothing but ill intent, chaos, suffering. Menma decided to whip out his kunai with his other hand. In a fast movement, he dragged it towards Naruto's side, ready to impale him. However, the kunai met force. He looked as he saw ice overtaking Naruto's side. Spreading on the kunai, Menma quickly released it as he teleported away. He did not go far, though. He appeared right behind Naruto as he lashed out a brutal kick, but Naruto ducked underneath it. Upon doing so, Naruto came up and slapped Menma's leg, allowing him to tip off balance. Menma staggered back as Naruto slammed a brutal punch in his nose, throwing him back. Before Menma could hit the ground, he teleported as he appeared above Naruto. He then teleported behind Naruto. Naruto turned, but Menma teleported behind him once again, before he kicked Naruto in the back. Naruto was sent staggering forward as Menma reappeared in front of him. He then drive a brutal uppercut under Naruto's chin, snapping his head upwards. Menma smirked as he slammed a fist in Naruto's guts. He then slammed another and another his hands, moving like blur. But he was not done yet as he leaped. He wrapped his arm around Naruto's neck, but this time he came down, intending to smash Naruto's head into the solid ground. But to everyone's shock, as they thought that Naruto was going to go down, Naruto's right hand lashed out and slammed against the ground, stopping his fall. Menma tried to apply force, but he could not budge Naruto. That is when Naruto started to laugh, as the both of them were stuck in this position. Seeing that Naruto had hooked his leg around Menma's right feet, either of them moved, they would fall. Menma was confused. "What? Have you finally lost your mind, you damn fool?" he said, realizing that you have no chance of defeating me. "Oh no, it's quite the opposite. You see, my dear brother," said Naruto, "I wanted you to witness what happens when your punches make contacts. You think I feel pain. You think that you're making me suffer. You think that my body is somehow being targeted by your punches as some sort of divine punishment that you have brought down upon me. In your decrepit little mind, you believe that somehow you're actually hurting me. You want to know something, said Naruto. I don't feel pain anymore. Menma was confused by that. Because you see, I have nothing to feel pain for. Unlike you, that has a reason to suffer, I have nothing. And you might think that's a win for you, but what you don't understand is, it's only physical. And what I've been through, those punches mean nothing. So as you can see, you can't win. You can't break me. You cannot kill me. You cannot win. You're destined to lose. As a failure that you are. Menma started to squeeze Naruto's neck tighter with his arm, hooked around him, but Naruto simply laughed. Finding this quite funny. It's been a long while since he laughed so much. Menma pushed off as the both of them rolled away and got back to their feet. Slowly Naruto rose as Menma stood there. As he reached into his pouch. That is when he threw something forward. As Naruto noticed that it was a smoke bomb. Said smoke bomb enveloped the entire area. As Naruto simply stepped into the smoke. As he waited, Menma appeared behind him. He slashed the arc across Naruto's back. Naruto spun and grabbed his wrists. Menma was shocked. How did Naruto see him? He lashed out his other hand. However, Naruto turned with the momentum, flipping Menma on himself. Instead of Naruto dropping though, he grabbed Menma by the side of the neck and slammed his head into the ground. His vision swam. Pain burst through his body like a volcano erupting. He bit back the scream as he tried to get up, his head swimming. The moment he got to his knee, he felt a force connected with his guts. He was blasted through said smoke. He crashed on the ground hard. Everyone was shocked. What just happened? As he could not see, Naruto stepped out of said smoke, unharmed. Menma picked himself up. As he was already panting. Not from exhaustion though. From the bodily hurt that he's been getting. He looked up with fury in his eyes. No. I won't lose, he said. Enough. I was gonna make you suffer, but... Enough of that, said Menma. I'm just gonna kill you right away. Kushina's eyes widened when she heard that. What did Menma just say? Kill him? As several of the Konoha ninjas could not believe what they just heard. Was he really gonna try to kill him? As Menma had lost all composure, not hearing who heard him now. His eyes glistening with rage. This time Menma pushed his body. Menma teleported around the arena at a blinding speed. So fast that Naruto actually had to start putting effort. His speed was increasing. Naruto's eyes tracked every single movement, every single touch of his feet on the ground. Menma appeared and slammed a brutal punch across Naruto's face that actually hit. Seeing that, Menma smirked as he reached and gripped Naruto by the hair. He brought his knee up and connected with Naruto's face. Naruto's body staggered back as Menma was not done. He jumped up and slammed a heel on Naruto's shoulder. He wanted him to kneel. With that said and done, Menma held his hand out. This is it. This is it, he thought. A ball of chakra started to spiral into his hand. His father's famous jutsu. As the ball was being pumped with a large amount of energy. Menma, no! Kushina cried out from where she was. But Menma paid her no mind. His father did not say a word. Menma grinned as he brought their Rasengan down to destroy. Pulverized Naruto's head into nothing. This was it. This is where he dies, Menma thought. That is when an identical sound could be heard. A Rasengan formed in Naruto's hand, shocking Menma. Before Menma could slam the thing in Naruto's head, Naruto's hand lashed up as the two balls of energy connected. A violent shockwave as the ground cracked. Energy exploded outwards in different directions, blasting and destroying the ground. Both of them were blown back as the two techniques exploded. Both boys skittered on their feet, completely fine. Menma looked towards his hand shaking. That Naruto. What? Said Naruto as he got to his feet. He reached up. As he placed his hand to his lip where there was blood trailing down from the attack from Menma. As he looked at his own blood, it seemed to bring him joy. Did you think you were the only one that was taught that? Yes, Father taught it to me as well. That one thing that you thought that you had that made you special. I guess you're not so special anymore, said Naruto. As he looked towards Menma, who seemed to be completely shaken that Naruto actually knew the Rasengan. Menma dropped to all fours. He had enough. He called upon the beast power inside of him. Fine, I'll just rip you apart with my bare hands, he said. Malicious red chakra started to explode from him. Everyone could feel it. Kushina was biting her nails, a habit of hers when she was afraid. She saw the intention that the both of them had. They wanted each other dead. How did it come this far? Her boys want each other dead. Everyone was on the edge of their seat. This match was proving to be more entertaining and so much more emotional than the others, as two brothers were fighting to kill. As Menma body was completely overtaken, being trained excessively by Jiraiya to harness the power of the beast to enhance his own. A tail sprouted behind him. He had more control than Mito, it seems. His features take on a more animalistic shape. His eyes narrowed. His fangs extended his claws. Menma focused on Naruto as he gripped the ground. Naruto crossed his arms as Menma's fists made contact. He had teleported in a split second. The force was strong as Naruto's feet broke the ground, seeing that he tried to cancel it out. Menma vanished. Naruto turned, but before he could block, Menma's fist smacked him. Naruto was sent bouncing across the arena. Menma appeared as he slammed Naruto into the ground, completely destroying half of the arena. He growled to the sky before he raised his paw. The red chakra seemed to gather a more dense shape as it solidified. As he brought his hand down, Menma felt pain. Spears of ice exploded out from Naruto's right side, stabbing through Menma. They punctured through his arm inside. Menma jumped away. He looked down as holes were right through him. They slowly started to heal. Naruto got to his feet, half of his body being covered in ice. He exhaled as smoke came from his mouth. Two whips came from Naruto's back as he started to crack with lightning on his left side. Naruto extended his nails as they turned into sharp, slicing blades. Its teeth elongated that they could rip into flesh. As both boys shot forward at blinding speed, what followed was hard to keep up. The boys were moving across the arena as Naruto was using his yo-yo technique to flash the Menma in return. They clashed. Nails clashed against claws. It was violent. Blood was being sprayed all over. The ground was being soaked in it actually. Ice, particles breaking off. The both of them clashed with a fury as they slashed and tore at each other. Everyone was shocked. People had to cover their mouths. Some had to avert their eyes as this match was brutal. The most brutal that they ever saw in this exam. Both boys separated after 2 minutes. Menma's body was recovering fast. Yet, the chakra was taking a toll on him, as he had to keep on teleporting all over, and he could not access more of the Fox power without losing control. As for Naruto, his blood was slowly returning back to him. He had several slashes, his clothing was torn, but they were returning back into his skin. His quirk to control his blood. As Naruto exhaled, his body slowly returned back to normal. As he looked down towards his fists, he felt the power coursing through him. In that, Naruto had drawn and stole some of the Fox power from Menma. Just a single contact and he had stole a tiny amount, but he could feel it. And now he could feel it all. He could feel the chakra of the 1 tails and the 9 tails inside of him, and they were merging. They twist and merge together. Naruto felt an overwhelming sense of superiority. Domination, this power was just so much. A vicious grin came on his face. Menma launched himself as Naruto reached and grabbed both of his hands to stop Menma from digging into his face. The chakra was supposed to burn Naruto, but yet his hands were ice cold, cancelling out the effects. Menma tried to pierce Naruto as he tried to push his hands forward. Suddenly, chains shot from his body. They wrapped around Naruto's legs as Menma yanked him. Allowing Naruto to lose balance, Menma then plunged his hand in Naruto's chest, the claws, digging into it. As Menma looked into Naruto's eyes, shock written all over his face. Everyone gasped up in the stadium as they saw what just happened. While Menma had pierced Naruto in his chest, not his heart, but just in his chest, something was sent flying. As the said thing crashed down to the ground, Kushina gasped in shock as she couldn't believe it. Everyone was stunned. The Konoha ninjas watched as the thing crashed. Realization flashed across Menma's face. His right arm had been completely torn off. While he had stabbed Naruto in the chest, Naruto had slashed, completely tore his right arm off, sending it flying. The pain set in as Menma howled. He howled out in agonizing pain. While the fox chakra could heal wounds, it could not. Regrew an arm. He stepped back as Naruto did not allow him, slamming a hand into his chest. Naruto pulled all the chakra around him into his body, shocking the people by that as they saw the red chakra pouring into Naruto's hands and vanishing. Menma had a look of pain etched all over his face. "I told you I would scar you," said Naruto. "But I'm not close to being done yet." Naruto then smashed his heel right into Menma's chin by bringing it up. Blood exploded out of his mouth. His body was lifted off the ground as Naruto delivered 10 punches to his guts that caused him to spit blood the entire time. Internal bleeding was a must. Naruto shot a high power punch by using the ear cannon force at the back of his elbow. The force snapped Menma to cry out in pain finally. As his breath was being held back, his screams could be heard all the way throughout the stadium. His hand lying there motionlessly. Naruto did not end it though. The bottom of his heel released a high pressure force as he arrived into Menma's guard. The wall exploded as Naruto blasted him right through it. Menma's screams could be heard all through the area. As the proctor had to jump down there, he had to call this match. There was no way the boy could go on after that. After that bloody gruesome sight. The proctor watched as someone started to arrive through the hole. That is when Naruto arrived carrying Menma by his hair. He was dragging Menma by his hair. Tentacles shot from Naruto's back. "Stop," Mifune said. "The match is over." He's no longer able to continue. But the tentacles did not go after Menma. Not exactly. They wrapped around the severed arm before electricity burned it to a crisp. Mifune shouted at him to stop. But Naruto did not listen though, as he lifted Menma up. He then whispered into his ear. Menma was barely conscious. "I told you, you are nothing." Before he dropped Menma down to the ground, the medics were afraid to approach Naruto until he turned his back, allowing them to pick up Menma. The arm was no use as it was completely charred, burning to a crisp. Naruto turned his gaze towards Mifune. "Didn't you hear me, boy?" said Mifune. "What?" "I stopped fighting him. I did not hear there was a rule against destroying useless debris inside the stadium. Was there a rule against that?" Naruto asked. Mifune frowned at that, as the boy had used that to get away with what he just did, even though he told him to stop. "I suppose I did not," Mifune said. Menma was rushed towards the infirmary. Kushina had left her seat as she rushed off, making her way towards said infirmary. Minato and Naruto's eyes met. Once again, Minato's face was stone cold. There was no emotion. It was impossible to know what he was thinking at the moment. However, Naruto simply turned his back as he was announced the winner, as he made his way up towards the contestant booth, where he proceeded to sit down. Over to the side watching the entire thing and him was none other than Sasuke, as he had just witnessed that brutality. And what just happened to Menma? As Naruto did not even send him a glance or said a word to him. He just remained quiet. With the two finalists left, there was a 30 minutes break. The stadium was buzzing with activity, as people were discussing on who they think would reign supreme. Almost majority of the people were saying Naruto. After all, they saw what he was capable of. Not to mention if he could be so brutal with his brother. What was stopping him from just outright killing the Uchiha? Yes, this match was gonna be something fierce and brutal. Unaware of the hatred, anger that Naruto truly has, many of them believed that he would not go that far. Yes, he did remove Menma's arm, but would he actually kill Sasuke? How foolish some people can be. They have no idea what is circulating inside young Naruto's heart. At the moment though, Kushina stood over the bed of Menma. Menma was unconscious. He was okay. He was not gonna die, and she was grateful. When she saw Naruto push him into the wall and broke him through it, she was fearful. She was gonna have a long talk with her other son. She needed to understand what was his motivation behind doing this to Menma. She knew that he was angry, she knew that they never really get along, but this was too much and she was upset with him. Thus, she was gonna have a long conversation with him. She had checked on her daughter, who was fine. A few bandages dropped her on her. Mito was unable to witness the match between Naruto and Menma. As Mito arrived in the room, seeing her brother once again after visiting him a few minutes ago. "How's he doing, Mom?" Kushina looked towards her daughter. She decided to keep the anger away from her. "He's gonna be just fine," Kushina said, giving Mito a kind smile. As Mito smiled back at that, however, there was a look in her eyes. As her eyes then went down towards Menma, missing arm. "He's not gonna be happy about this. That bastard. Look what he did." Kushina wanted to protest and tell her to not speak about her brother in that matter, but Naruto removed his own brother's arm and beat him so badly that if the nine-tail was not inside of him, the damage would have been much more severe. At this point, Mito was boiling. All of her fear from Naruto being able to steal people's quirk had been shot away. Now she wanted revenge. How dare he do this? How dare he hurt Menma like this? She was gonna make him pay. Yes, she was. She was gonna make him pay, she thought to herself. As she looked down towards Menma, who was unconscious, but he would be fine. Menma was her brother. Naruto had made it clear that he was nothing to them. It's about time that she accepted that. They were no longer family. Look in her eyes worried Kushina. She was about to say something until Mito spoke up. "Why is father not here? Look at Menma. Why is he not here?" Kushina had a deep, sad look on her face. Her husband had not even come to look on his son. That worried and concerned her. She will have to speak to him as well. She knew that Menma was upset. She had seen it on several occasions. With Minato spending more time with Naruto, Menma had gotten so upset she saw it in his eyes. She had tried to spend time with him to make him feel the love of a, parent, but he wanted his father. And Minato was no longer there spending time with him. So Menma was upset at Naruto, and Naruto was in fact upset at him as well. She knew they never really got along, but this was just too much. As Kushina was worried for Mikoto, she knew that Naruto and Sasuke never got along either. And Naruto and Sasuke share no blood. That meant it would be much easier for him to attack him than attacking Menma. Kushina had no idea in the slightest how much Naruto hated all of them. She believed that blood is something that would stop him. How wrong she was. Back towards the Kage booth, small talk was being made, as there was many tension in the air. Minato barely spoke through all of that. His mind seemed to just be focused on something. Yet, there was no anger. Most would think that he would get upset at one of his sons, causing such damage to another. But he had not even went to visit Menma. Some might say that he knew that Menma was going to be okay, but still, he was your son. Had he that much faith in him, that he was strong enough to be okay after that? Yes, Menma was powerful and not to mention a holder of the Nine Tails, but still. But he had not visited Naruto either, so it was a sore subject. Meanwhile, in another section of the hospital, slowly opening her eye, Kurosaki came too. Half of her face was covered in bandage. Her torso was as well. Her body felt stiff, as she could feel pain. Despite her body being covered, she slowly groaned, causing the person beside her, her best friend Tsubaki, her teammate that had failed, was there for her. "Kurosaki, you're awake," she said. A happy relief smile on her face. "Where am I?" Kurosaki said, confused. "Don't you remember?" Tsubaki's words seemed to snap everything back into focus as everything came back. The images. Kurosaki gripped her fist, but it only caused her pain. "What did he do to me?" Tsubaki did not answer. As Kurosaki realized that it was bad, she could not see out of one of her eyes. Granted it was covered, but she could feel that there was something wrong. Her chest area did not feel normal either. Her body, it felt like it had been through a meat grinder. The doctors did the best they could. The way Tsubaki spoke, it could be heard in her tone that everything did not go through perfectly. Naruto Quirk, his claws nailed to be exact, were so strong as they were able to tear deep in her flesh to the point that the doctors could not fully heal her without severe scars, especially in her face. Yes, it was bad. Rage. Rage from that moment on. A rage like no other built inside the girl. All she wanted was the death of one, Naruto. And she would do whatever it takes to make sure he suffers and dies. Meanwhile, back on her feet, Mikasa made her way towards her two disguised parents. As she sat down with them, right in the center, the both of them, happy to see that she was okay. They had been there the entire time watching over her. But she told them that it was alright. They had came back to see the match, how brutal it was. They had told her everything regarding what happened between Naruto and his brother, because she really wanted to know. Now she was back with them, a few bandage on her, but nothing too severe. She still had not talked about her well-feeling. "I'm sorry you two," she said. "About what, honey?" Konan asked in her disguise. "I promised that I would win this, and put our village name up more on the map, to show that our ninjas are strong." A hand was placed on her shoulder from her father, as Nagato looked towards her with a kind smile. "There's no need to apologize," he said. "You did what you had to do in order to not spill secrets that you know we're not ready to reveal. And besides," he said with a grin, "we both know that you could have demolished him if you didn't have limitations on you." He said roughly in her ear, something that she did not really like, but, well, this moment was rather touching. "Yeah, my baby girl is super powerful," said Konan in a cheery tone, as she blushed in embarrassment. "Come on, you guys," she said. "Don't go and embarrass me now." As Konan reached up and pinched her cheek. Her mother can truly be embarrassing sometimes. It doesn't matter how old you get, you will still be my baby girl no matter what. Konan had lost a lot growing up. So, when it came to doubting on her daughter, she loved to do it. The girl was her shining light. That is why they were going to do what they're going to do, to bring peace to this world, so children like their daughter and others won't have to suffer. They were going to change this entire world. That is when they heard the bell. The 30 minutes were up. As both Naruto and Sasuke made their way down there, Mikoto had a worried look on her face. Worried for Sasuke's safety, as Naruto had shown to be quite brutal. She glanced towards her husband Fukaku, who had a similar look like the Hokage's face was completely serious. As she then turned her gaze back down there, as she saw Kushina at the corner of her eye, as Kushina returned back to her seat followed by Mito. next to them. Kushina sent her a sad look, afraid of what might be the outcome of this match. As Mikato said nothing and simply looked down there. Both boys stood there as everyone went quiet. The final match. Many of them already believed what the outcome would be, as Sasuke could see it on many of their faces. Even heard people talking that he should just give up, and that angered him. He's never felt so pissed off before. This quirkless loser believing that he's something special. It doesn't matter if he won against Menma. Sasuke believed in his arrogant mind that he was going to put him in his place. He looked up, but Naruto was not looking at him. Instead, Naruto's eyes met with none other than Itachi Uchiha. Naruto was in deep thought. He wanted to rip Sasuke apart. Not kill him, of course, but just to hurt him in a way to make him suffer. Naruto did not plan on killing any of the people that made him suffer. Not so soon. They deserve to feel like how he feel, and then they can die. They deserve to have everything be taken away from them. However, Naruto was worried. Itachi could blow everything. If Itachi was to tell Minato what was going on, Naruto was sure that he could not fight his way out of here. He had no doubt by now that the Kages would try to kill him themselves, knowing what he possessed. Right now Minato was, well, Konoha and his father was the backing of him. But even if he made it back to the village, yes, he could probably kill hundreds. But eventually you'd be taken down by the full might of the village. He still does not understand what Itachi wants. Granted, he had a plan for Sasuke. A plan that would make him broken. A plan that would hurt him in the most painful way possible, both physically and mentally. But today was not the day. So he was just gonna take him out. Humiliate him to show him that he was not on his level. It would make him think that he could reach him one day. Mifune looked towards the both of them as he called out, announcing their names. Everyone shouted. Amazed by the fight so far, they were ready to see the finals. Up in the stands, man. Sasuke is screwed. Naruto's gonna beat the living crap out of him. I mean, look what he did to Menma, said Kiba as he was massaging Hinata's hand. She told him that it was hurting, and like the, well, simp he is, and her controlling nature, he quickly went to massage it. After all, he had a hugest crush on her. She was trying to reign her dominance over him, seeing that he had tried to get away from her control. Hinata said nothing as she simply watched him, as she proceeded to lick her lips, her eyes focusing on the bad boy. She couldn't believe that he did that to his own brother. It actually turned her on to see how ruthless he was. She loved to break the rules and to see what Naruto did. Something so wicked, corrupted. He was a true definition of a bad boy, and she liked that. As she looked down towards him, a hungry look in her eyes, she wanted him under her control. And she has to get him under her control. She was Hinata Hyuga heir to the Hyuga clan, and she will get what she wants. Yes, she will get what she wants, she said with that hungry look in her eyes. Back down below, Sasuke's hand started to release tiny explosions as Naruto said nothing. The moment the match was called, Sasuke jumped, conjuring up a large amount of his power. What followed was chaos. He blasted everything towards Naruto. The blast had everyone closing their eyes as the whole place was lit up in a bright boom. Dust and debris wept through the entire place. Sasuke stood there as he was panting a bit. The blast that he just released, well, it was immense, powerful. As Sasuke activated his Sharingan, the eyes allowed him to see more precise, not to mention enhancing his physical capability and his reaction time. As he waited for, they heard a breaking sound as ice particles fell. Sasuke blinked in shock when he saw the gigantic ice wall start to fall. Naruto had conjured up an ice wall the moment Sasuke leaped forward. The Uchiha was not pleased. If you think that's gonna stop me, Sasuke said, you have another thing. Naruto appeared in front of him. Sasuke's eyes widened as Naruto used his yo-yo quirk. Baffled by the speed, Sasuke brought his arm up. However, Naruto was just much faster, as he impaled Sasuke through the shoulder with one of his ice spears. The Uchiha beat back a scream as Naruto broke the spear off as he returned back to where he was, returning because of his quirk. Sasuke dropped as he tried to reach. He grabbed onto the small piece and ripped it out, blood staining his shoulder. He looked up. You bat! He shouldn't have taken his eyes off Naruto. A heel slammed into his skull. That was the last thing Sasuke saw, before his head slammed into the pavement, knocking him out cold. Everyone was baffled. That just took a few seconds. They couldn't believe it. The Uchiha was a prime candidate and had a rather explosive quirk, and yet he was taken out like that, so easily. The medics came and took Sasuke away, as Mifune walked on the field, as he called out, "And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the entire tournament, Naruto Namikaze!" There was an explosion of cheers, as everything went ballistic. The people clapping thunderous applause, whistling and cheering. Several people had placed bets on Naruto, and Naruto had mauled through the entire competition, and he was number 1. Everyone was clapping and cheering his name on, as Naruto remained there impassive. Mifune glanced towards the boy, as he saw something very dark, heinous inside this child. He felt it. This child was gonna cause some irreversible changes in this world. He could see it right now. Time skip. Naruto stood in front of his father, as they were gonna be leaving very soon. Having won the tournament, his father and him finally had the time to speak to one another. He had not get the time to see his mother yet, or his other sibling, if you'd call them that. His father had not said anything for about a good minute now, as Naruto did not speak either. Minato finally spoke up. "Do you hate Menma?" he asked. "Yes," said Naruto. There was no hesitation, no pausing. "I see," said Minato as he turned his back. "I did tell you to fight, like there was no tomorrow against all of your opponents. However, humiliating and cutting off Menma's arm like that was not what I asked for. He is your brother despite your hate. I know that the both of you never get along, but you truly despise him, do you not?" "Yes," said Naruto once again. "I do not care for neither of them, Menma or Mito. They've been nothing but bad to me my entire life. As long as we're not put in this situation again to fight, there will be no harm," said Naruto, his tone calm. "Then what about me and your mother?" Minato asked as he wanted to hear his son's opinion on them. "The both of you try to allow me to forget the past, which I have, and I have moved on, but my siblings, they still hate me, so I hate them as well. So, you've released the past because me and your mother have changed. Yes, things were not good back then, but things are different now, and because of you, I've gotten so much stronger." "I could never hate you for that," said Naruto. Minato nodded hearing that. "What will be the next course of action?" said Naruto. "Menma will be angry once he wakes up, and mother will not be pleased. I will handle Kushina. However, you are to not harm your brother or sister ever again, in a way like that. Do you understand me?" he said. "Yes, I do. I'm not saying that you have to get along with them, but you are still family. Do you understand that?" "Yes, I do," said Naruto. "Good," said Minato. Menma's missing arm can be solved. Over the years, quirks and technology has risen to great degrees, so do not worry about that. I will speak to Menma as well." "Good," said Naruto. "I wish to get back to the Hidden Leaf. From my actions, I can feel the hate. Countless of people here want me dead," said Naruto. "Yes, I know," said Minato. "But they also fear you, and in time, that fear will grow, and they won't dare to make a move," said Minato, as Naruto simply nodded. Time skip. He went out of his way to avoid Kushner, as he didn't really want to hear anything from her. It made him sick, how he had to pretend like he gave a damn about either of them. It made him sick to his stomach. However, as he left the location, returning back, his mind wandered on that girl, Mikasa. He shook his head as he made his way. Meanwhile, as they head back towards Land of Rain, Conan could see that Mikasa was a bit saddened, and she could tell why she was sad. As she lowered her speed so that she could be right beside her daughter, she placed a hand on her shoulder. Mikasa looked up. "What's up, Mom?" she said. "There's no need to be sad. Trust me, you will see him again, and maybe he will have a change of heart." She looked towards her mother. What are you talking about?" Conan simply smiled, as she did not say a single word. Mikasa, who didn't want to be more embarrassed, just decided to go quiet. She didn't know why she couldn't get him off her mind. Damn it, that whole information thing. That was a fault, she cursed. It was the Menma thing she cursed. Seeing him and understanding made her want to get to know him, help him, befriend him, but just maybe that is not something they could do in this lifetime. He's complicated. He's broken. He's someone that could not be reasoned with. It's best if she just leave him be. Yes. Time skip. A few days later. 2 to be exact. 2 days has passed since the whole thing. As Naruto walked through the streets, many people saw him. Some were upset how he dealt with Menma, seeing that Menma was his brother. After all, he was a fellow Konoha ninja as well. He could see it in the way they look at him. But the fact of the matter is, Naruto just did not care. He did not care in the slightest. His name was being thrown around in every situation right now, because of his quirk. The Kages were speaking to their ninjas about what Naruto can actually do. It's just been a few days, and his name is all over the nation. News has already reached Konoha that he could steal other people's quirk. Those that did not know were shocked, baffled to hear that, as they could not believe it. Naruto had stayed away from the public eye. He had avoided his mother the entire time, to make sure that she didn't come to speak with him. He was hoping that the next time he spoke with her was when he was leaving this decrepit place. But before that though, he was not sure if he should attend or not, but he decided that he should. Arriving at the destination, it was late in the night, as Naruto stood in the tree, looking downwards, waiting for him to arrive. It did not take too long, as Naruto saw the man walk out in the foliage. He stopped, as Naruto watched him carefully. His face was calm. That is when Naruto saw him jerk a bit, before he held his hand out as he coughed in his hand. Naruto watched his dark hair sway from side to side as he coughed violently. Naruto watched him carefully, as he coughed some more. When he pulled his hand back, Naruto saw blood. Blood in his palm. Naruto's eyes focused on him as he watched his breathing. He watched the way that he moved. Before he jumped out of the tree, Itachi, who was already aware of Naruto being there, brought his hand down as the blood dripped towards the ground. "You're dying," said Naruto. "Yes, I was gonna tell you that when you finally reveal yourself." As Naruto held his hand out, a blade made from ice appeared. Itachi looked towards him curiously. "You still want to end my life?" "Yes, even more so," said Naruto. "Why would a dying Konoha ninja last wish be to help the person that see the downfall of this entire place?" Itachi looked towards him. "If you're gonna change things," he said, not answering Naruto's question, "you're gonna need to become stronger than everyone to ever walk this earth. You're gonna need to wield powers that would put the fear of coming in all people around you. You're gonna need to make them fear you to respect you. You will have to take a great sacrifice. You will have to go down a path of sadness, misery, chaos, death, suffering. A path that might lead to death. A path filled with nothing but chaos. However, if there's anyone else that can do it, it's you. I've been watching you for a long time, Itachi said, revealing his true motives as he looked towards Naruto. And that is why I wish to help you. To help you gain more power. Power that you can't even imagine. In order to fix everything. As Naruto looked towards him skeptically. You want to make me stronger even though you know what I desire. Yes, because through destruction, after there can be creation. And before we set this world on the right path, there must be destruction, Itachi said. As Naruto looked toward him skeptically. Why? Why are you doing this? Itachi started to walk. He then glanced back behind himself to see Naruto standing there. If you wish to get answers, come with me, he said. Naruto held on tightly to his sword as he followed behind the Uchiha. He wanted to know his true motives. But guys, be end subscribe right here. If you want the next person to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends and social media platform. But I'm off now, see you guys soon. Peace.